And welcome back to another video. It's Andy, aka the Flying Yeti, and today's video, not bike related whatsoever. I'm going to review my Ford Transit Connect long wheelbase limited after 3 years of ownership. I put a video up when I first got it up with about 600 miles on, and for this tiny channel I got quite a few views, to be fair to it. So I thought I'd follow that up with what I think of it 3 years. 3 years later, complete with loads of dirt. I've done a few things since I first got it, mainly the graphics, as you can see, which are all the way around and on the back. Number plate still there, love me number plate. Apart from that, pretty much standard. Oh, saying that, apart from the wheels, don't look too closely at the wheels because my crappy parking is evident in the curbing. I had the mirrors done as well. So what I think of it, overall I'm very pleased with it. Very few minor problems I've had over the 3 years. The first thing that I had go wrong with it was not very major at all. It was one of which one was it? It was that one. The light in this stopped working. So I went to my local car place and said, can you put a new bulb in that number plate? They went to put the bulb in and they said, oh, we can't put a bulb in there because the thing's corroded. It's had water in there and it's just literally the inside just corroded into nothing. So I took it back to my local Ford dealership, which is, what's it called, Allen Ford, which is in Northampton where I live, and they replaced that straight away, no questions asked, no charge to it whatsoever. So that was fantastic of them. The second bit I had go wrong was the air conditioning didn't work. Now the aircon, as far as I'm concerned, was never that great to start with. I've had a few Fords in my time, not vans, but I've had like Mondeos, and I've had 3 Mondeos actually. Well, the first one was like a P-Reg, so it's, well, whatever year that was, 96, 97, something like that. So I had the Ford Mondeo, and I'm assuming because it's a Ford it will have the similar sort of aircon to what this has got. And from memory, all my Mondeos were like ice cold. This has never ever been ice cold. It's always been, it's kind of a little bit cool, but not very brilliantly cold. And when it's hot, this fan being black soaks up the heat. So with the windows shut, driving around town, it's just not cooling enough. So I took it back to Ford and said, look, can you check this out? Because it's definitely not, oh, it might be the gas, it might be the gas. And at the time, the van was 2 years old. So I said to the guy, well, if it is the gas shouldn't have escaped after 2 years, surely not. So can you check it out? And if the gas has escaped, then I ain't a mechanic or anything, but it suggests to me that it will probably be a leak. They had a look at it, again, under warranty, and they said, yeah, there's a fault, there's a crack somewhere or other in the aircon and it's leaking a little bit of gas. So they replaced the aircon unit. I had a courtesy van, done all that for me. That was fantastic, no charge again. Aircon still, it's a lot colder, but it ain't freezing cold like my old Mondeo, bless it. So the aircon, I'd give it a 3 out of 5, I'd say. As far as the inside goes, absolutely spotless. There is a slight wear on the steering wheel there, where obviously I've been driving. The van's done, if you can see, 58,773 miles, which is pretty much what I was saying I was going to do, 20,000 a year. So it's actually 3 years old, May the 26th, and it's about May the 5th when I'm recording this. So it's coming up 3 years old. As for miles per gallon, as I say, this one is the L2, so the long wheelbase. Miles per gallon. Now, bearing in mind, I don't. In fact, I'll show you what I typically have in the back. I'm not driving around with heavy loads of stuff. It's pretty light load in here most of the time. There you go. That's what's in there. Not a lot of heavy stuff. You get one crappy light up there, to be fair, which I was going to replace the light. I was going to get LED lights along the top, but in fairness to that one little rubbishy LED light that you get as standard, that once it's dark it does illuminate this back area quite well. I wouldn't say it's like really bright, but it's bright enough to find out little bits and bobs that you need to find in the van, so therefore I haven't bothered doing that. But that's pretty much all I have in there. Miles per gallon, as I was getting round to saying, is averaging about 44 miles per gallon. And as I said, bear in mind, I drive this van like a granddad. So I'm obsessed with miles per gallon rather than brake horsepower nowadays, which is showing my age. So 44, I was hoping it was going to do upper 40s. I can't get it nowhere near upper 40s unless I'm going on a motorway drive and I'm driving at 60 mile an hour with the cruise control on. There's no way it's going to get up to upper 40s. I haven't had this thing remapped. I'm going to get it remapped once the warranty runs out, because I am keeping this van after 3 years. So once the warranty runs out, I will get it remapped. So I might, depending on if anyone wants to know, I'll post on there what difference a remap makes on power and miles per gallon, etc, etc. Quick run through the controls. Everything is working fine. The radio's working fine. The heater works fine. The reversing sensors work fine. I've got a heated seat which is operated by this little bit there. You can turn that round into 5 different settings, on or off. There's just a heated seat on the driver's side. You haven't got nothing on the passenger side. But I don't care because I don't sit on the passenger side. The controls I really like on this limited model. This is like the top spec one that they done on the 17 plate. So again, you've got all your controls on here for up and down in your volume and so forth. On that side, which is really useful when you're driving, all your phone controls. So you just press that middle bit and then you say phone home, and then the van says, do you want to phone John? And I'm like, no, I don't want to phone John, I want to phone home. No, in all fairness, it is pretty good. Now and then it will say, do you want to phone John? And I'll say no, and you start again. But it is pretty good, so obviously you can use that on hands-free. You got the speaker and the microphone somewhere in the van, and apparently it comes across quite clearly at the other end as well. So you've got that, you've got all your cruise control bits and bobs down there for setting your cruise control. The lights are quite handy, so again, pretty much like any modern car, I'll leave them on auto, which is there, so the lights will automatically come on when it gets dark, and the running lights are permanently on the front of the van as well. So there's that bit. Again, the same with the windscreen wipers as well. I'll leave them on automatic, which they are now, just there. So again, when it starts raining, they come on by themselves. Now and then they won't come on by themselves, so you literally have to flick that off and then flick it back up again to make it work, and then it will work fine. Stereo's working alright, everything else is fine. As for the seats, I quite like the seats, to be fair. It has got two seats in the back. Well, you say two, it's kind of 1.5 at the most, which is quite handy if you're picking up 2 people locally. Say somebody's in town and they want to lift back. You wouldn't want a long journey in these 2 seats because they're quite tight, and you definitely want a long journey on these because they're covered in bleeding dog hairs. Hence I've got the seat covers on. Under the seat it's quite handy because you've got a little stash down there to put bits and bobs in, which is nicely hidden under there. And the passenger seat, that does come down like so, and then you've got 2 cup holders, you've got an armrest, and then you've got a little strap if you've got paperwork and stuff like that to put underneath there. And how do you put that back up? There's a little strap down the side, you have to unclip it and push it back. So that's that. What else have I got in here? Got my dash cam, which is up there. I've got my bat, which is just there. You've got to have a bat in your van, it's essential. And apart from that, that is pretty much it. Oh, cubby hole under there, which is quite handy for all my petrol receipts. So I think overall I'm really pleased with it. I've had no trouble. One more thing. It has got stop start on this van. So you pull up to the traffic lights, if you've not had a stop start in any vehicle before, because this is the first one I've ever had it in. Pull up at the traffic lights. If you keep your foot on the clutch and the van in gear, the engine will not stop. It continues idling at the traffic lights. If you take it out of gear and take your foot off the clutch, engine stops. and then all you need to do to start it, push the clutch down and it fires up, put it in gear, away you go as normal. This does not work anymore. So somebody told me it probably doesn't work because the battery is not got enough charge in there to warrant it keep working. Stop start obviously uses a lot of battery power, so they're telling me that's probably why it doesn't work. I've never actually looked at why it doesn't work, because to be honest I'm thinking it's a waste of time. I can see that it's going to save you a tiny bit of fuel at the lights, but I can see myself spending money on starter motors and batteries. So I'm thinking that's probably going to cost me more than the saving in fuel. So to be honest, I don't really give two damns whether that works or not. But yeah, apart from that, I've had no issues whatsoever with the van. So overall, I would give it a good rating. I know I've had a lot of people, oh they're crap, they're this, they're that. So 3 years, nearly 60,000 miles, it's been pretty much faultless. And then the two aircon would have been an expensive thing to mend, but as I say, because it was new, it was under warranty, so I didn't have to mend it anyway. I've got quite a few stone chips on the bloody front, which are right peeing me off, to be honest with you. So I don't know whether you can see. That's wax where I haven't put it off, but there's stone chips there, they're all around here, one there, big gashes there everywhere. And like I say, considering I drive it sensibly, and I don't go down dirt tracks off-roading that often, if at all, then the stone chips are slightly annoying, because every time you wash it, which don't get a black van, if you like clean vans, don't get a black van because it is a pig to keep clean. So every time I do wash it and wax it and so forth, you notice another stone chip on the front. No stone chips anywhere else, just the front obviously, which is very annoying, but I suppose it comes with wear and tear. One thing I was going to say as well, when you shut it as well, the mirrors fold in, which is quite handy. So all the mirrors are electrical adjustable inside as well, so that's sort of standard. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with the van. The reason I got the long wheelbase as opposed to the short one is that my R1 fits in this van perfectly. If any of you guys do track days, and obviously you need vans to carry your track bikes around, then this one does fit in, my R1 does fit in here perfectly. I can't get the wheel chock in there because the back wheel will stick out the back, and there is a slightly annoyance of the bulkhead sticks right out here, as opposed to, can you see how that goes? It's really sticky out here, and then it sort of goes under when it goes down to the bottom. So that is a slight annoyance. But yeah, basically the wheel will fit underneath there, and then you've got the nose cone pretty much touching that, so you need a bit of foam down there to stop the nose cone of your bike rubbing on there. But yeah, it's a minor detail. It fits in. Anchor points are in the van, so it ratchet straps down, get all my kit in here, so forth. So it's an ideal tool for the job. Yes, it's a bit tight on the old headroom, but I'm not planning on standing up in the van all day long. So yeah, it's all good. So hopefully this review's been helpful for some of you guys who may or may not be thinking of getting a Ford Transit Connect. And if you want any further updates, then please leave them in the comments below, and I'll speak to you next time.